Greetings, viewers, and welcome back to Just Short of Fantastic. Happy Pride Month, y'all! It's perfect timing for my performance review of Disney's live-action adaptation, The Little Mermaid 2023. Full disclosure, I love the 1989 animated classic, The Little Mermaid. It's my favorite Disney movie. It came out when I was 3 years old. I have very strong memories of seeing it in theaters and then growing up watching it on VHS and then on DVD. It's my comfort movie. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Why do I love it? Well, a certain group of people, I won't name any names, are quick to point out that The Little Mermaid is a terrible feminist narrative. And they're right, it's not a feminist narrative. Or at least, it's a product of 90s feminism, which a lot of the Disney princesses of that decade fell victim to. No, Disney's animated The Little Mermaid is not a feminist narrative. It is a trans narrative. It's classic. Ariel longs for a world that she wasn't born into, and her body needs to change fundamentally before she can live that dream. The fact that she falls in love with Prince Eric is completely coincidental. It's the spark that lights the pile of hay that she's already built. It's a weird analogy, but we're going with it. The key part of the story is that everyone around her under the sea keeps telling her, you're not a human, you'll never be a human, you don't belong up there, stay down here with us. And she transitions, and as soon as she gets to the surface, she finds joy in her new body and her new surroundings. All of the humans who encounter her don't know that she was a mermaid, and they just accept her as human from the beginning. And even when it's revealed that she was/is a mermaid, Prince Eric still resolves to save her because the time they've spent together was really meaningful and he has fallen in love with her. And in the 2023 adaptation, they really expand on this relationship and the depth of their mutual passions. Eric teaches her about the human world, Ariel teaches him about the ocean world, and they learn and grow together, and it's so beautiful, and I loved every second of it. It's not about a girl trying to get a boy to kiss her so she can stay human. It's about two burning souls finding each other and sharing their passions and developing as people. And I really super appreciate that the 2023 version does not end with a marriage, because even though I love the animated classic, that ending always kind of struck me as a bit icky, especially when you remember that Ariel's only 16. It was the 90s. Actually, it was the proto-90s. I just realized I wasn't wearing any earrings. Fixed it. As a trans individual, The Little Mermaid is a really important story for me. Growing up, I always wanted to be Ariel, but now that I'm an adult and I have the maturity and the lived experience and the words to articulate it, I realize that I actually want to be Eric. Jonah Hauer-King as Prince Eric does an amazing job, and the song Wild Uncharted Waters that they give him is an absolute banger. Full disclosure, I was crying in the theater during that sequence. I cannot wait to learn it for the piano. Halle Bailey did an absolutely phenomenal job as Ariel. Her voice is perfect. I loved it. She's delightful. I also feel that bringing more diversity to the cast, and particularly to Disney princesses, is really important for everyone. This is a great step by Disney. I want to see more of this, please. More diverse casting for existing stories, more diverse telling of new stories. There's an infinite world of possibilities out there, and we can only get better with the more stories we tell. The movie is over 2 hours long, and for the most part, everything that they added just, again, gives more depth to the core relationships in the story. There were a couple of moments with Melissa McCarthy where I was just like, okay, clearly they've just given Melissa license to vamp, and she is just chewing the scenery. Could have been edited just a little bit more with some of those scenes, but we'll get to Ursula in a minute. Something I would have loved to know more about. They've done an update to the sisters, they've changed the names, which I just wish that my movie theater had subtitles, because they say the sisters' names once at the beginning and I caught maybe 2 or 3 of them, and I was like, wait, what? What are the new names? I had to go and look it up later. Not important. Ariel's sisters, they each rule one of the 7 seas/oceans in the fantasy world where The Little Mermaid takes place. It does not take place in our world. It's a fantasy world. Anyway, they all rule their own sea/ocean, and I thought that was really cool. They've all gathered for like this Coral Moon Festival, which I also wanted to know more about. There's a lot of lore here that they just drop in and then never explore, and I really wanted to know more about that. Disney, if you need content for Disney Plus, a show about Ariel's sisters. Yes, please. I want more. All of these actresses were amazing. They're diverse. They're stunning. I want more. Yes, please. Awkwafina, love her. Want to see more of her in everything. She did an amazing job as Scuttle. Enjoyed her rap song Scuttlebutt, although again, I can see why maybe cutting that out would have helped with the runtime, but it was cute. It was a quick rap song for the kids in the audience. It got some laughs, and I enjoyed it. When I first heard Daveed Diggs using the Jamaican Sebastian accent, I was a little bit, but it grew on me, and I thought he did a really great job. I love Daveed Diggs, although Under the Sea, it's not Daveed Diggs. I felt that okay, here's the problem when you take an animated movie and update it for live action. Even with CGI, there is a fundamental quality of animation that is lacking. And I felt this especially in the Under the Sea sequence. It was lacking a lot of movement. Animation. It was lacking the joy and vibrancy and just you gotta dance quality that Under the Sea has in the animated movie and also the Broadway musical. Like it felt a little flat to me, and I don't know, maybe if they'd had a little bit more time, the animators, or that's just a sacrifice you make for updating to live action / CGI. Maybe in repeat viewings I'd feel better about it, but in my first viewing I was like, yes, Under the Sea, here we go, let's go. And then I saw it and I was like, it left me a little cold. Nothing to do with the actors' performances or the musicians. It was just, there was a spark missing. And that's probably the worst thing I'm going to say about this movie. Well, there is one other thing, and we'll circle back to the Melissa McCarthy bit. I was mixed on her performance. Mostly she was fine. She did a great job. The costume was amazing. Loved it. Makeup on point. She sings well. But sometimes in her scenes, my brain could not stop going, this is Melissa McCarthy playing Ursula. This is not Ursula. So that took me a little bit out of the experience. That being said, Disney went full for the Triton-Ursula sibling rivalry dynamic, which they have done in the Broadway musical, but I feel it's a bit better explained in the Broadway musical than it was here. It was just something that was brought up and then again just left without any further explanation or development, which I think is a crime. I still think that Disney can make an amazing Ursula origin story. Disney, 2025. I want an Ursula origin story in the style of Maleficent and Cruella, but it absolutely has to be a musical. Hit me up. I've got ideas. Now I just kind of want to talk in general about Disney's live action adaptations and why they leave me sort of lukewarm. I've seen all of them except for the Lady and the Tramp one that they did because that went straight to Disney Plus, and I just haven't bothered to go and watch it. I'm sorry. When I think back on them, the only one that I would watch outside of theaters would be the Aladdin one. And that's just because, like, I thought the actors in that were doing a really great job. I thought the updates to the story were good. The music is really good. Although, if you asked gun to my head, I would absolutely prefer the animated one because, hello, Robin Williams, and also it's shorter. And time is a precious commodity. The other ones, I'm just kind of like, yeah, they're fun to watch once, but I don't really care to watch them again. I think I would rewatch the live action Little Mermaid again because I just really love the Little Mermaid, and I thought, like I said, the depths of the relationships were really good. The updates to the story were really good. The updates to the lyrics were really good. I don't know why people got so bent out of shape to the like 2 lines they changed in Kiss the Girl. I think that was a good update. Anyway, that's a whole other video. I don't want to get into it. These live action adaptations leave me mostly lukewarm. As an intellectual, I feel that if you're going to make a live action adaptation of an animated movie that came out 20, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, however long ago, you're trading on nostalgia. And a lot of the people who are going to see these movies are going to be adult parents taking their children, or just adults like me who don't have children who are just going because they love Disney and you're trading on nostalgia. In that case, please tell me something new. Tell me something new about the moral of the story. Tell me something new about the characters in this story. Give me something for my adult brain to wrap itself around and go, huh, I never thought of that before. That's an interesting point. Let's see where that goes. Going back to the live version of Aladdin, I still get chills when I think about that very quick scene with Jafar and Aladdin in the desert outside the cave, when Jafar says to Aladdin, hey, we're not so different, you and I. Let's work together. I still get chills thinking about that because I'm like, that's different. That's a new aspect of this character I never thought about before. And I wanted more, but then again, they just put in that scene and then drop it completely because narrative's got a narrative and we can't change the ending, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. In conclusion, we tell and retell stories to reflect the world around us and to show us how we can engage with that world or the types of people in that world. The Little Mermaid is still an effective trans narrative, and it is improved upon in live action, whether America is ready for that story or not. And now, with the 2023 live action adaptation, I can say that not only is it a trans narrative, but it is a Black narrative and a feminist narrative. Happy Pride, folks. Until next time, stay just short of fantastic.